So what happened in this case where an informant, spy, whatever you want to say, they're being very careful about either saying this is a huge deal or not a huge deal, but someone planted in a campaign for the presidency of the United States. It just strikes me as a little bit odd, but I'm no lawyer. The federal and white-collar criminal defense attorney extraordinaire, Caroline Polisi, is joining us right now. Caroline, sorry, I was just looking at my notes there. Is it your thought that this is unusual, at least? Because everyone's saying, oh, Neil, we just had my buddy Charlie Gasparino, white-collar situations, this happens all the time. I have no doubt it does. But this is the president of the United States or someone campaigning for it.
Right. Well, Neil, there's a reason why we are all so focused on the semantics here, because in one sense, it's not out of the ordinary to have discrete contacts with FBI informants of the nature that we're hearing more and more reporting that this was likely the case. These were discrete contacts with 3 members of the Trump campaign, both before Mueller was appointed and thereafter. Now, when you start using the words mole and implanted and embedded, that's a little bit of a different story. And the question is whether or not the DOJ policies and procedures for confidential informants were taken into account here. And certainly it sounds as though, based on all of the reporting, that they were. Now, that's not to say that Rod Rosenstein hasn't come out publicly stating that he's going to sort of expand the scope of the IG's investigation into potential corruption within practices that the FBI used during the 2016 campaign. But based on the reporting as we have it now, it doesn't seem like this is out of the ordinary.
All right. So, well, that's the next question. Could this have formed the basis of what would be an investigation that would morph into the Mueller investigation that itself was partly steered by a Steele report, other controversial methods? Because obviously the Trump folks are coming back to say it's all built on a house of cards.
Right. Well, we saw President Trump deliver that demand via tweet that his Justice Department begin an investigation into this issue. And I think that Rod Rosenstein is really towing the line today, sort of in his response. So his response was that, look, you know, we're already have this investigation, the Inspector General, which is sort of the DOJ's internal watchdog into potential fraud taking place within the DOJ. So there's already an investigation underway. Let's throw that in there into this investigation without having to sort of open up an entirely new one.
Can they do that? And can the IG, you know, I can just imagine, oh, I'm almost done with my report, ready to wrap this up, boom, this lands on my lap. That obviously delays that report, right?
It may not. You know, it depends.
Well, it wouldn't be a separate affair, would it?
That's right. I think what Rosenstein is doing is really, you know, look, there's a long-standing historical precedent in this country to maintain the independence of the Department of Justice. That's not to say that the Department of Justice is not part of the executive branch. It certainly is.
Right.
But, you know, historically speaking, they sort of stay in their own lanes, and the Oval Office doesn't have much say over what the DOJ does. So Rod Rosenstein, again, he's in a very precarious position. And I think he's really struck a balance here in his response.
Do you, at any level, find it odd that the FBI is sending someone to sort of be a mole in a presidential campaign? Now, obviously, I know the reasons that might have prompted this. They better be good ones. But that whole thing it's a bad Mission Impossible script.
I mean, look, as a criminal defense from a standpoint of a criminal defense attorney, it's very opaque. The ways in which the FBI sends confidential informants in all aspects of criminal investigations are very opaque. There aren't sort of clear rules and regulations because of the nature of that work, right? And we've seen a lot of talk about protecting sources and methods, you know, over the course of the past few days, because, you know, the argument goes that it's essential to sort of safeguard these types of investigations. Now, that's not to say that, you know, we could all benefit maybe from knowing some more transparency about the process, but it's, again, a delicate balance. I think the mole versus, you know, confidential informant with discrete contacts, I think there is a distinction with a difference there. And again, we don't know for sure sort of the context in which this person made contact with these 3 Trump campaign officials.
But it's a person, where they call a mole, a spy, you know, whatever. Well, it's a person who shouldn't be there.
Well, no. I mean, mole to me indicates sort of someone embedded, someone there
Right.
all the time, kind of like casting a wide net, going on a fishing expedition. Whereas if you talk about a discrete informant looking for a particular, if they have probable cause to investigate a particular crime being investigated, the FBI doesn't investigate political issues. They investigate crimes, certain crimes. And in here, the crime was potential espionage.
Yeah, knee deep in a presidential campaign. Caroline,
Right.
thank you very, very much. Good
Thanks,
seeing
Neil.
you.
You too.